Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Gadget podcast. I'm your host, Mobile Mike, and join with me, as always, I've got Victor Webb. What's going on, man?
Hey, not much, man. Just happy to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, August 26th was the last time we podcast. I just looked on the website because I had to figure out what number this was. So it's been a while. It's been a while. Lot of stuff.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, what do you want to get into first, man? I mean, we got new Nexus phones. iPhone launch obviously has happened. I'm sure you have a new iPhone that you can talk about. I got my wife one, so I've used it a little bit.
You did 6S or 6S Plus.
She got the Plus.
Nice. Yeah. No, dude, I'm surprised you left. I don't know what you're thinking going back to Android, man.
Man, I really like this Note 5. I can't lie. It's really nice. There's a few things that I miss, and a few things that always bothered me about iOS. So I mean, and nothing. It's not like deal breaking bad stuff. It's just like when you get used to one platform for so many years, and I'd always bounce back and forth. I'd try the iPhone for a couple months and it wouldn't work, but I actually held on to the 6 Plus. I think longer than any phone I ever have had in the last 5 or 6 years. So. I really like what Apple has done with iOS. I had the beta iOS 9 on there and iOS 8, and I really like the redesign back when they did iOS 7. I thought it looked really cool, and I don't really have too many complaints about iOS, but there's just a few things in Android that, especially since Lollipop. I really like Lollipop and above. I haven't tried Marshmallow yet because I got a Note 5. So this time next year, I'll tell you how Marshmallow is.
All right, man. Well, you should be honest with yourself, too. Just admit the main reason you wanted to go back is so that you can recommend some more utility apps.
I've actually pared down my utility apps. I really don't do a whole lot of utility stuff on my phone anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still rocking a launcher and I got different icons and stuff like that, but I mean, most of it's just personal customization that I have on here. But I mean, there's just like little touches that I like that Android has that I missed when I had iOS. Honestly, the biggest thing I miss from iOS is just iMessage. It's just done so well, and people that so many people have iPhones now that chances of you sending them an iMessage are pretty high. And then the people that have iPhones, like you can send giant videos, and you can send. I got used to holding down the microphone and talking, and then sliding up and sending that voice message. Almost like Nextel style, you know what I mean? Like with voice messages and stuff like that. So I started using WhatsApp, and it basically does the same stuff. Of course, you have to have people that use WhatsApp, which I don't really care because I don't use it to talk to my wife. So that basically takes that pain point out. And then I use Hangouts here and there, and we use GroupMe at work, so I use that. So there's stuff that replaces iMessage, but iMessage definitely, hands down, is the nicest.
Oh, yeah. It's the best. It is the best. I mean, I wish Hangouts app would at least be somewhat intelligent like iMessage.
I wish it would just snag your phone number. And I mean, Google has all the stuff between Google Voice and Hangouts and Project Fi and all this stuff. I mean, they obviously know how it works. And I understand the complaint, like, when we switched, like we had the iPhones, my wife and I, and then we switched. I got her Edge Plus, Galaxy 6, Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. There you go. And she still had iMessage turned on her iPad, and it was like a day of her texting me texting her, like trying to figure it all out. And then I was like, oh, did you turn it off on your iPad? And we got home, and sure enough, it was still turning. It was just this giant fuckery of trying to get out of iMessage that I can see why others are reluctant to do that kind of style hijacking, because it can be a pain in the ass to disconnect it.
Yeah, that's true. No, but at least I think Apple's getting a little bit better about being able to disconnect it. I think now that I don't know, man.
No, they just give you a website, and the website's bullshit because we went to the website and turned it off. But if you still have it turned on your iPad, and then it's still like all the people that were sending you iMessages still go to your iPad regardless if your number got disconnected.
Mm.
So it's like it's still in Apple's servers to send like like say you send me a message on my iPhone and I go and I switch, I get a Galaxy, but iMessage is still enabled on my iPad. All of your messages will just go to my iPad. They don't go to your iPhone at all. So your phone number is technically gone out of Apple's servers. But since your iPad is still connected to iMessage, it'll still receive any messages that are sent via iMessage, which most people don't know. It just does it automatically. It's not like you can go, okay, send iMessage or send text.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. All right. Well, it's good to know then. Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I can never really try going to Android. Never really do it. I always come back to iOS just because. I don't know. The biggest thing, I don't know if you had this issue before, but with the iPhone 6S, the biggest thing Apple did, the most noticeable improvement for me, screw Force Touch, screw improved cameras and stuff like that. It's motherfucking 2 gigs of RAM. It needed that. It really, really needed that after iOS freaking 8.
I mean, I can't speak to it because I haven't, like I said, my wife has one, and I've kind of tinkered around with 3D Touch and live photos and stuff like that, and that sort of thing, but I haven't used it day to day, so I can't speak to the extra RAM. And honestly, I really didn't have problems with my 6 Plus. It did well. I mean,
no, Mike, you never had an issue where you let's say you're in a web browser and then you go out to another app, whatever, and you come back to the web browser and has to reload the tabs. Or for example, let's say if you're Yelp and you're over here searching for a place, you're like, hey, you know what? Not enough information. Let me go to Foursquare, check it out. And you go back to freaking Yelp, and it has to reload everything again.
Yeah, that's true. But I just got used to. That was just the way iOS worked for the longest time.
iOS 8, it was not that bad, dude. I could go into multiple apps, come back, and when refresh. At least now with the 2 gigs of RAM, I can go into Yelp or something like that. I can go throughout the day into all these other apps, come back into Yelp, and it's still there.
It's still Yeah, see, the last time I used iOS was iOS 7, and I used it on the beta. So really, the last full-time use of iOS with the stable version was iOS 6, and that's just how it was. There was no multitasking. It was you got a switcher at the bottom, and that's about it. So it always reloaded shit. So I guess I just didn't notice that as a problem because I assumed okay, I'm using an iPhone. If I leave this application, chances are when I come back, what I'm looking at won't be there anymore. And in the back of my brain, that's just how it was.
In iOS 7, it was a lot better, especially with Safari. iOS 8, it just went to crap. I mean, Safari, you load up a tab and then you go back to another tab, and that thing is refreshing, and it sucks so bad.
I did notice that with because I use Chrome, and I did notice that a lot with Chrome on the iPhone for sure.
But now you can go into multiple tabs, go into different apps, come back, and it's beautiful, man. It's where it needs to be. That was the most needed upgrade in my opinion. So right now, if you have an iPhone 6, guys, and you're on the fence. I'm saying, should I get the 6S or not? That's the biggest reason to get the 6S right there. Is that 2 gigs of memory, man.
Especially with every carrier doing all these financing or lease deals, it's almost stupid to not get a new phone every year.
Yeah.
Because you're paying for it anyway. If you're on a financing program or you're on a leasing program, that's the whole idea. If you're the kind of person that buys your phone and is on whatever plan, or maybe you bought a phone and you're on Verizon and you have to buy full price phones to stay on the unlimited that they're going to charge you more for now and cap at 7 gigs and all the other shit that sucks. Then, okay, I get it. But, I mean, there are so many programs no matter what carrier you're on.
They can get around that shit now because you just go to Apple. Say, fuck Verizon. Hey, be like, hey, screw you guys. I'm going to Apple, which I get an unlocked version, put it on Verizon if I want to, or if Verizon fucks me down the road, I'll just switch over to another carrier, no problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Apple payment plan. So, granted, you do have good credit. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, you would have to do that if you go to a carrier anyway. I mean, to do a financing at your carrier, it's a credit check, and
you should do a deposit though if you don't have that good of a credit. But Apple will just flat out deny you because it's too chasing.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But you got to think of it. That's like a super luxury thing. It's not like a necessity. Whereas getting cell phone service, I guess, is the credit check's probably a little easier.
Yeah.
I will say live photos I thought were pretty gimmicky, and then we went to the zoo and my wife got some really cool photos with the live photo, and like after we went and had lunch afterwards, and we were just kind of both flicking through our photos, and that's cool. I really do like the live photos. I think, and not in every situation.
Zoes?
Say what?
The HTC Zoes, you mean?
Yeah, the HTC. Yeah, the thing the HTC developed, 3 years ago that failed. But it is pretty cool. And I think it's neat. I don't think the stuff on the home screen I think is cool for like shortcuts and stuff. I'm looking to see what third parties do with it, but I mean,
oh yeah,
it's cool. I think it's a good upgrade. I think if you have this, like you said, if you have a 6, just or a 6 Plus, go buy the S.
Go get it, man. And those live photos it's great if you have babies and animals, man. It's like the perfect thing for them. Oh, and they did update it too, so that way if you're actually on 9.1, I know that if you took a live photo and you bring your phone up or down, it would sometimes record that, which kind of sucked. But now they fixed it so if it detects the phone's moving up or down, it won't record those portions.
Oh, that's cool because we definitely got some crotch shots, and you take a picture, and then like you put the phone down, and it's that's cool. I'm glad that they figured that out.
Oh yeah, the use of that accelerometer.
Although I will say we were flicking through some photos, and she was looking at my pictures on Note 5. She was like, "Damn, those look good."
Oh yeah, well,
fucking Note 5's got a good camera, man. I'm telling you, I really like.
Camera. Well,
oh, and the fucking fingerprint sensor, man, on the iPhone is insane.
Oh, it's fast.
I heard people are like, "Okay, yeah, it's so fast I can't see my lock screen." I was like, "All right, well, yeah, you press the button, you leave your thumb on it, dumbass." No, you press the button, and I had to like consciously try and beat it to like not recognize my thumb. That's how fast it is.
See, I have an iPhone 6 Plus for work, and then I got the 6S Plus, and it finally enabled Touch ID at my job on that. But yeah, I was using it, and I'm over here just so used to being so fast. I take it off before the 06 can even recognize what's going on. I'm like, oh man, I gotta wait like 2 to 3 seconds for this shit to recognize now instead of like instant.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like the moment you press it, it's like it almost starts recording your fingerprint before the screen's even illuminated. I think that's what it's doing. Yeah. I think that's how they're like, oh yeah, it's a faster sensor. It's probably the same sensor. It's just the software can start detecting it as soon as you press on the button.
Oh, yeah. And they do have the LPAP, the low power audio processor now, so you can do that. Remember the what was it? Hey Google.
Okay, Google, yeah.
Okay, Google. So now it's like, Hey Siri.
Hey Siri. Yeah, well, I used Hey Siri a lot when it was plugged in. Now I think it doesn't have to be plugged in, right?
Correct.
Because before, and I actually use that quite a bit. I'd be brushing my teeth. Hey Siri, what time is it? Make sure I got enough time to leave for work. Or sometimes we'd be watching a movie and I'd be like, Hey Siri, well, what other movies is so and so in? And she'd just start listing out stuff.
Oh my gosh, Mike! I think it's something else we needed to talk about. The freaking Apple TV feature.
The what?
The new Apple TV's feature. You hear about it?
Which one? Like where you can say, "Hey Siri, show me the movies."
What did they say? So like, if you're watching a movie or TV
show
like that,
yeah.
Like, what did they say? And it actually like goes back like 10 or 15 seconds, and then puts on closed captioning, so you can see what they actually said.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's
fucking ingenious.
I'll definitely pick up to the new Apple TVs because I mean, even though Android phone, I've always been an Android phone. I've always used Apple TVs around my house, and I'd say probably about 90% of my digital purchases as far as TV shows and movies are through the Apple TV, just because I have an iPad, so if I want to watch them on the go, I got that. And I really like the new remote and all the new like voice stuff, and I like how it'll show you like if you want to watch a particular show, it'll search through all the different applications. Google just released a new Chromecast app that kind of does that same thing. Not just, but like last month when they showed off all the new phones and everything before they launched, they released a new Chromecast app. And it's not quite as like, you can't talk to it, but you can, type in, like the other day I was, trying to find different movies, and you can type it in and it'll tell you if it's available on, any of your pre-installed Chromecast apps, or it'll suggest that, obviously to purchase it from Google Play and that sort of thing. So kind of the same idea, which I think that's a really, really cool feature, because there's a lot of websites out there that, you spend a bunch of time, filling directories full of movies and shit, so you could search and find, like if this movie was on Netflix or on Hulu, or if this TV show, you know what I mean? So it's cool to have one universal place to go, type it in or say it, and then find where you could watch it. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm always still baffled that you still buy stuff through Apple instead of Amazon. Oh, but you're on Android now too, so you can't use Amazon.
No, Amazon's
That's
got a video player for Android.
they have a
It's like
Amazon
a
Prime Video player.
backdoor. I don't know if it's Prime. Yeah, you can use your Prime through it, but it's like a backdoor through the Amazon app. So it's the video app itself is not in the Play Store, but when you download the Amazon app and you go into videos, it'll take you to download section where you can download the Amazon app. You have to enable in third-party APKs, but it walks you through it. It's definitely a little hacky, but it's just not in the Play Store. But you can do it. So I can watch any of my Amazon videos.
That's kind of funny though. The Amazon, it's like, hey, you got to do this thing that kind of puts your privacy in jeopardy if you're not, an aware user of what's going on and why you're doing this, and what this can enable you to accidentally do in the future if you don't turn it back off.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's Amazon for you. They're like, fuck you, you install our app and watch our shit. Of all the companies that get accused of being evil, I think Amazon's probably the fucking worst.
Yeah, Amazon's like, hey, you don't want to use our shit? Well, fuck you guys. Except iOS people says, you guys actually buy a shit ton of stuff, so we're still going to, support you guys. But everybody else, here's a giant middle finger.
Speaking of the other guys, I know you're a Microsoft fan, so I want to talk about the Microsoft event. We're going to do a lot of catch-up, so those of you who are listening, you probably heard of your other podcasts or your other news outlets talk a lot about this stuff, but it's been a while since we've gotten together to bullshit about it, and that's why we do this, to bullshit. So Microsoft's had a new event. They talked about it's a Surface Pro 3, right? Or is it Surface Pro 4 now?
4. Surface Pro 4.
Surface Pro 4, Surface Book, and the Lumia 950 and 950 XL. Is that right?
I believe so.
First I want to talk about. Well, let's talk. The Surface Pro 4 is basically an upgraded Surface Pro. Not a whole lot to talk about there. The Surface Book is really the new hard piece of hardware. It's basically Microsoft's first laptop, whether they want to call it a laptop or not. But it has a detachable top. They do?
Yeah.
Okay, because it has a detachable lid, which is a tablet, and this really crazy coil-looking hinge. It's really, really cool looking. And it's high end. What does it start at? Like $1,500 or $1,700, something like that?
Yeah, it starts at no, $1,500.
$1,500. So I mean, for
one with a dedicated GPU, I think that starts at $1,900.
19. Okay, and that's the one that they were comparing to the MacBook Pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were saying that it beats that one and blah 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 and all stuff, whatever. But so obviously it runs Windows 10 and all that fun stuff. But it's for me, I think it's really, really interesting to see Microsoft just diving deeper and deeper into hardware. They bought Nokia, and now they're making phones themselves. They're Microsoft branded phones. They got an array of laptop and tablet devices now. They got the Surface Book, which is basically a laptop, and then they have the Surface Pro, and then they also have just the traditional Surface 3 right now. So they cover kind of the gamut of hardware as far as tablets/laptops go. I think it's really, really interesting that Microsoft doing that. And I watched The Verge had a pretty good article with interview with the CEO, talking about their direction and all this and that. And I gotta say, for the first time in a long time, I think Microsoft is headed in the right direction. I think it's just they always use the metaphor of a giant ship and trying to turn a giant ship. It takes a long time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel that with Microsoft because you can see them doing little sprinkles of the right thing. It's just one for the phones. They've already lost. The phone war is over as it stands right now. I think it's iOS and Android and everyone else, and that's just how it is. I think right at this point to make money in mobile, it's selling hardware, and we've seen even that shift. I mean, HTC was like the darling of profits just 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and now they're it's a fucking fire sale, and I'm gonna buy them on eBay in 3 days. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you've even seen that landscape shift. So it's I think for Microsoft, it's interesting to see them continue to do and put so much effort into the phone business. I don't know if I'd say effort, but what they're doing is really, really interesting with Windows 10 on the phone. So maybe you can explain this to me, because you know me, I'm Windows ignorant because it's Windows. So the Windows 10 for phones that's coming out that's a completely new software. I mean, it looks very similar to what we're used to seeing, but as far as like the underlying operating system and the technology that's built that operating system for phones, that's completely different than what we have on phones, Windows phones right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different kernel. It's all using that Windows 10 core kernel. So like, everything's based off it's based off Windows 10. It needs to share like pretty much the same frameworks and all that kind of stuff, making it easier for developers to target their apps across those platforms. So yeah, going from Windows 8 to which was following that mentality. So Windows 8 was trying to keep some stuff similar between Windows 8.1 and Windows 8, and Windows 8.1, Windows 8, and Windows Phone was all trying to keep it all kind of similar for developers, make it easier to port apps between the various platforms. But yeah, now it's just all Windows 10, the Xbox, Windows Phone, tablets, desktops, all Windows 10 kernel, and all basically cross-platform. Obviously, just shit you want to have to do certain frameworks that's going to be unique to certain libraries. That will be unique to each individual class. Certain things you got to tweak on UI as well too. But the idea is that essentially now I could easily develop one app and then have it run across all that stuff. So yeah, Windows 10, they've on the mobile phone portion, they've made a big change just by having it all have that same kernel in a sense. It's beautiful, man, what Microsoft's doing.
Well, and one of the things I thought was really, really cool, sorry, I muted myself. We've seen some other companies kind of try it, is where you could plug the phone in to a dock kind of thing, and you basically get a Windows 10 desktop experience on a monitor, which I think is just really, really cool. And the docks themselves have like USB and some other things. Do you know the limitations of that? Like, I mean, obviously you can't run full Windows apps on it because I'm assuming they have to be
full
applications.
Apps, just not like x86 desktop apps.
Right. So the apps have to the apps have to be on the Windows Phone for you to run them in that desktop environment.
Yeah, essentially, you have to be a Windows 10 universal application.
Right, so it's still really far and few between. You know, you probably are going to get like 3 or 4 actual useful ones, and then the rest of them will be just shit. But I think the idea of that is really, really cool. I mean, you remember the Motorola Atrix?
Yeah.
And how it had that laptop that it like would plug into, and then it was like it was basically like turned it into a Chromebook with Firefox and stuff instead of Chrome. Like, I don't know why they used that instead of Chrome, because now we have Chromebooks, and it was like, duh, Motorola. This could have been a really, really cool thing for you to do, but you didn't. And I think that's a really cool idea, especially if they move that idea into a laptop shell. You could have this portable device that you can plug into, basically a dock, and then have either a desktop or a laptop, or even a tablet, kind of like the pad phone. You know what I mean? It sounds like a stupid thing, but if done right, with the full power of Windows, or even 75% of the full power of Windows, as long as you can get to your main apps like, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and the stuff that people are going to use on a regular basis, then I think the idea there is pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. They paired with AT&T to launch these phones, which means they're destined to fail.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think Microsoft probably doesn't care as much about their phone endeavors anymore. This was all done before the new CEO. This was done during the Ballmer era, so I don't think they care as much about the success of Windows Phone as they do just pushing the whole Windows 10, pushing that now. So their main focus is just really getting those desktops and tablets and stuff like that. Phones is pretty much not a strong cause. As you said, it's going to be pretty much Android and iOS are going to be your main players, and anybody else is just not going to get that attention from developers. But maybe down the road, if Windows 10, if we get more and more developers signed up for those Windows 10 universal applications and such, and those start becoming a hit, there's an easier push to get people to Windows Phone, because then the software, the apps will already be there for it.
Yeah, well, we've seen that uphill battle over the years, and it still hasn't happened. But speaking of players that are, left in the dust, BlackBerry is about to release the Priv, which is a BlackBerry-made device that runs Android. And just today, they put all of their core applications into the Google Play Store. So looks like they're doing like a Motorola or an HTC, where they have some of their apps in the Play Store where they can update there, as opposed to having to update the entire OS, every time they want to do something new to the launcher or something new to the email client and stuff like that. So, what do you think about that? I mean, I think it's pretty interesting. It looks like the device itself is pretty high end. I saw the retail price is like $699 or $599 or something. So, I mean, it's no.
On that.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be like a plastic slider, and like kind of like almost like a half attempt. Like, okay, fine, we made an Android phone, let's see what happens. But it looks like this. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of tweets coming from BlackBerry and BlackBerry people, believe it or not, like fucking hardcore BlackBerry people, and a lot of media coverage for the device. So I know there's some desire there, and I'll tell you, I'm really interested in that hardware.
Hardcore hypocrites who said that
right.
BlackBerry,
Yes.
the OS 10 is the only way to go, the only way for security, or now changing their mind. Oh, since BlackBerry's on Android, it's going to be BlackBerry.
It's going to be awesome.
And all that stuff.
Right, exactly. Those people. That's what I'm talking about. And I mean, the hardware itself is, I've been bitching for years now. The hardware has just been so boring. We've had the same, square glass phone for years. And it's just, okay, who camera rating system? Are you an iOS fan or are you an Android fan? Okay, if you're an Android fan, you get a little bit more choice on hardware, but it all pretty much is the same. And, portrait landscape keyboard on something that could be a good phone in a very long time. I mean, the last thing I can remember is the Pre. And, that was and I really like the portrait keyboard, and it's capacitive too. I was watching some videos where they're typing and then you swipe up on the keys, like you don't actually depress the keys, you just swipe, and it chooses your next word. Or you can use it as like a mouse and trackpad and kind of scroll through text or scroll through websites. So I'm pretty excited about it. What about you? What do you think about it?
I mean, that's a pretty cool idea. I'm hoping that's not. I hope they design it well, because I know that with the Pre, and this looks like it's going to have that same issue. The one thing I really hated about the Pre was how top heavy it was. So, laying down and trying to type is a pain in the ass. But, since the Pre was limited, that was the only fucking way you can type. And I'm pretty sure BlackBerry has an on-screen keyboard as well. That probably shouldn't be as big of a deal.
Yeah, they have their own customized BlackBerry software keyboard. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think eventually the Pre did have a virtual keyboard added to it. But I mean, we're talking.
It was probably too late at that point.
Yeah, it was super late, and then plus the size of that screen was, I don't know, a 2.8 inch screen or something. I don't know.
Small as hell. Yeah, it was done. It was freaking done. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I'm happy to see BlackBerry trying to get back into works. Hopefully, they can provide some awesome security, because I don't know if they can make Android as secure as their BlackBerry OS 10. That's going to be the thing. By the ability to be able to, enable side loading of apps and stuff. I'm pretty sure maybe for corporate use. Actually, that's a question. Good question. I don't know if for corporate use, if you probably should be able to disable that. You think, Mike?
Oh, I'm sure, because it has BlackBerry actually released like an article detailing the ways that they've secured that particular phone, and it looks like there's a lot of actual hardware encryption on the device level itself, and then of course all of your email and all of that stuff goes through BlackBerry servers. As long as you're using the BlackBerry app, so you still have access to the Google Play Store, but I'm imagining that your corporate information, that when you sign into your Exchange servers and your BlackBerry servers or whatever, and you're using the BlackBerry app, it's sandboxed on a different partition within the phone. So the apps that you download can't necessarily, like, you probably still have to sign into Gmail because it does have Google Play. So it is a certified phone, so you can go into Google Play and download apps. You don't have to sideload them, which is really nice. It's not like a Fire phone, or, whatever that's like forfeited.
The biggest worry I always have is just third-party applications, be like just like unapproved. You know what I'm saying? Being able to sideload none Google app approved, Google Store approved applications. But whatever. I think maybe with if it's like Knox and stuff like that with the sandbox technology, if it's good enough, it might not be vulnerable, even if a malicious app is installed. Can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure these guys know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Hopefully this gets BlackBerry, as a viable option now in corporations again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the choice to go with Android was a wise one instead of trying to keep pumping BlackBerry 10, because obviously that's an uphill battle. We just talked about it with Microsoft, and it's a 2-horse race right now, and it's not going to change for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if I don't know, man, I might be willing to give up my work iPhone 6 just to try out this as a corporation device, either that or the Lumia 950X or 950 XL. But yeah, either one of these devices, I think, would be a very good replacement for my 6 for workplace use.
Yeah, I think for work phones in general, I think it'll be cool. I mean, since it runs Android and has access to Google Play, I think it's going to be a good move for consumers, because BlackBerry is a very well-known name, and when you say like, oh, it's a BlackBerry, but it runs Android, it's like, oh, okay, so like all the apps that you have on your Samsung or all the apps you have on whatever Android phone you're using, you can do on your BlackBerry now, and they're like, oh, okay, I can see consumers signing on to that, because it's like, I mean, you worked in the cell phone industry a long time ago, and I mean, you remember when Android phones first came out, and it was like, who the fuck is LG? Like, or who is Samsung? Like, people didn't know those names; they weren't household names at the time.
Motorola was the only real household name,
right? Yeah, and HTC, it was like, who's HTC? And now everyone knows who BlackBerry is, and yeah, they have kind of their tarnished reputation right now, but I think that name still has some stock, and I think that it's a good move for them. Not only enterprise-wise, but I think it's a good move consumer-wise too. So
now they want to get people to use that BlackBerry Messenger. If they ended up making BlackBerry Messenger like iMessage, that would be fucking genius. That way you have a default, a default SMS app, or even one that could be installed on other Android devices that's your default SMS app, and then either do BBM or SMS intelligently based on what's available. Oh my god!
And the BBM app is nice. Yeah, I installed it the other day, a week or so ago, or it was longer than that. When I knew Erin was going to go back to her iPhone, I was like, okay, we need to find a messaging app that works across both platforms. That has X, Y, and Z. We've got to be able to send high-res photos, full res photos.
Hangouts freaking compresses that shit like crazy.
Yeah, the photos aren't so bad, and Hangouts just doesn't allow you to send video. Of all the things, you can't send a fucking video in Hangouts.
Oh, that's weird.
Isn't that stupid? You can do Facebook Messenger. You can send video.
But I tested some pictures too, and like I will send a 5 megabyte picture. Excuse me, and that shit will get compressed down to like 300 kilobytes on Hangouts or something like that. It was fucking crazy. I'm like, that is ridiculous. And WhatsApp's even worse.
No, WhatsApp does full pictures.
It does full pictures now?
Yeah. It even has one thing that's really cool that I like that it does is if you get pictures and videos, it auto downloads them to a folder on your phone. Mm-hmm. And they've integrated Google Drive backup for the full chat history and all of your folders for like your pictures and videos and all that stuff. So for people that save every single thing that someone sends you, it'll auto backup either daily, weekly, or monthly to Google Drive now. So WhatsApp, I've got to say, like I'd never used WhatsApp because I was like, I don't know anybody that uses it and whatever. And I only talk to my wife on WhatsApp, but for that, and it has the voice, where you can hold down the microphone and talk just like on iOS and stuff. So, but the BlackBerry app was very similar. I think BlackBerry was the same thing though. I don't believe you could send videos through it, if I remember correctly. But the app itself looked really nice, and I'll tell you the number one thing I'm excited for to see an Android BlackBerry phone is to have that universal inbox like they used to have back in the day, man. I just miss having one place to go to have all of your notifications and all of your messages in one spot. It was just...
Yes. I'm really surprised they missed an opportunity on the BlackBerry Messenger app if you can't make it a freaking default SMS app, because that's like that would have been genius.
I don't think they can as its current state, but I can imagine the phone. Real quick, the Palm Pre had a 3.1-inch screen. Okay. But I'd imagine on the Priv it will be the default SMS app, and then because BlackBerry. I mean, think of another company that has crazy control over servers, and it's BlackBerry. It's BlackBerry, Apple, and Google.
They should be able to do the same on Android then, and they do that, right? Because all it is just if it's an SMS app, then because like there's always like a whole bunch of different SMS apps you can use, and all it has to do is just integrate the BBM servers on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw other whatchamacallits do that.
Exactly.
Facebook did that, but then removed it. So
yeah, but then what GoChat, Go Messenger does that. That if you have Go Messenger,
that's true. Yeah,
Go SMS, it will automatically default to Go Messenger between Go Message people. And I mean, as a while ago, that was like pretty much the closest thing to iMessage on Android, and I don't know if much has changed recently, but BlackBerry has the best chance, I believe, if they integrate that into their Messenger. That would just be brilliant.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. So what else do you want to talk about? What else we got going on?
All right, well, let's see here. So we have to do Nexus devices, Nexus 5X.
Yeah, no, okay, so we got Nexus 5S, Nexus 6P. I think it's cool they did 2 devices. I think that they definitely took a page out of Apple's book. They heard the complaints of, phones are getting too big, and they throw out a smaller one and a larger one. And I really like that they put the same camera in both. They didn't go like, okay, we'll make this one. The 5X is obviously the cheaper one, but it's not necessarily a cheap phone. It's made of polycarbonate plastic, and
it's like a slower processor too, right?
Yeah, it's a little slower processor, less RAM. But lower resolution display. But at the same time, it's what, $300 something bucks. So it's
$79, I think, right?
Yeah, it's got the same fingerprint sensor on the back. It's got the same camera, so you get a lot of the same niceties you get in the high-end one and the lower-end one. So it's not quite as on parity as an Apple, an iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus. Am I getting 6P? Honestly, I don't know. I really like it. It looks really nice. But I signed up for Jump on my Note.
Oh, so you gotta wait till T-Mobile releases the 6P then.
I'm kind of roped into that right now because, and I thought for sure, my thought process going into it was, oh, okay, well, I got this, and I have one more Jump I can use, and if I want to get the iPhone when it comes out, I could do that, or if the new Nexus comes out and I'm blown away by it, I'll just get that. But then when they announced it, they're like, and you can buy it in the Google store, and that's it. I was like, what the fuck? So I don't know, because T-Mobile has carried every Nexus phone since the Nexus 4, I believe, or the Nexus. No, even before that, I think they had the. No, they didn't have the Galaxy Nexus. So yeah, the Nexus 4. They had the Nexus 4, the Nexus 5, and the Nexus 6, all available in store. So I'm hoping that eventually they do carry one of the two. But
preferably the 6P.
Yeah, of course, preferably the 6P. But as it stands right now, no. And I really don't have any complaints, like I said, about the Note 5 as far as like.
Maybe the A9 might come out for you, buddy.
The what?
The HTC One A9.
Oh yeah, the Android iPhone.
Yeah. That's always an option, right?
It's always, well, that's an interesting phone too. We can talk about that in a sec. But yeah, I think the hardware is good. Yeah, I really like that Google went with like I said, 2 different devices, so they could give both crowds of people what they wanted. Yeah, everyone was really kind of in sticker shock. I know I was when they announced the Nexus 6, and it was like $600, $650. It was like, whoa, that's not what the Nexus was about. The Nexus was about like, all right hardware with the latest from Google at a good price. To me, that's what the Nexus was for a long time. When the Nexus 1 first came out, it was a premium phone, and then it slowly started to turn. But from the Nexus 4 and the Nexus 5 was cheaper hardware at a really good price. Let's sell a bunch of them kind of thing. So the Nexus 6, I think, really, kind of sticker shocked people. So it's I like to see the 2 different strategies. I think it makes sense. And from what I hear, the fingerprint sensors are like jamming fast. They're like iPhone 6s, 6 Plus S, fast.
Nice. That's what matters. But I'm wondering is how that. Oh, I guess it shouldn't be too bad for the Android Pay.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I want to talk about real quick. Samsung Pay. Samsung Pay is the best pay ever. It works all the time with damn near every terminal. I've yet to have a terminal where it doesn't work except for like gas pumps where you have to like actually slide your card inside something.
Yeah.
But it works at, I mean, you name a place. I was at the gas station and the lady was like, "Oh, we don't have that," and I was like, "Yeah, you do," and it just works. It doesn't matter what kind of swiper. It works just across the board. So if you have a Samsung device and you haven't signed up for Samsung Pay, do it. It's so good. It works so fast, so well. I cannot believe that I'm saying that, because when I heard Samsung go, "Oh yeah, we're coming out with Samsung Pay," I was like, "Oh fucking Christ!" Like, how many pays are we gonna have? You know? And it's interesting to see that they've done something different from both Apple and Google, and you can use the phone without NFC, and it works with the magnetic strip wirelessly. I mean, you don't necessarily even have to touch the panel for it to work. It's just like within vicinity of it, and it works really well. So I just can't say enough good stuff about it. It works phenomenally. So if you have a Samsung, definitely sign up for it. Try it out. You won't be disappointed.
Nice. Yeah. That magnetic strip thing is very nice. Especially since it's still a lot of people actually. I'm surprised a lot of companies still are using a lot of, I should say, shops and places are still using the magnetic strip. I thought that they were supposed to get rid of that by the 1st of October, right?
No, they were just supposed to. They were supposed to also use panels that have.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's supposed to be an option. A lot of places don't have it enabled yet, which I'm surprised. I'm like, well, are they kind of screwed now? Somebody can use a fraudulent card.
Right.
I think gas stations are the only one that have until like next year.
So yeah, the A9, the HTC A9. So we've been seeing a lot of rumors and talks about this iPhone. It looks, I mean, you look at an iPhone, it looks just like an iPhone.
HTC CEO is being a giant baby. It's like, well, Apple copied us first.
Right. Yeah. So a couple of things I find interesting about this phone. One is they partnered with Google very heavily on the software. They stripped out a lot of their own applications. Like there's no more HTC Internet Browser. It's Chrome.
Thank God.
There's no more. There's a couple other apps that HTC had in there that are gone in favor of the Google versions. I think the calendar maybe, or some other. Don't quote me on that, but there are other applications that were stripped out in favor of Google's apps. It launches with Marshmallow, and they are promising. If you buy the unlocked version, so if you buy it through a carrier, this doesn't apply, but if you buy the unlocked version directly from wherever, as long as it's unlocked, you'll get every software update, so not just major ones, but any like security updates or point releases within 15 days of the Nexus phones getting them.
Which is good. Well, assuming they deliver on this. I mean, granted, this is a major feature they're pushing on the phone, so they better deliver on this, but HTC does have a little track record of making some promises they just couldn't keep.
That's and that's exactly what I was just going to mention, is that HTC has promised days and upgrades and definitely missed those days. But I find it really interesting that HTC can do this and the other manufacturers can't.
Or is it can't or they won't?
Well, yeah, that's exactly the question I was posing. And obviously they're saying the unlocked versions because if you buy a carrier version of your phone, then it has to go through their testing first. So I get that. But I also don't get why these manufacturers can't leverage their own device sales to get updates. I mean, Apple does it. And I know, like Samsung obviously doesn't sell as many Notes or as many S6s as Apple sells iPhones. They sell 3 or 4 different phones, throughout the year, and they sell a butt ton of phones, but they don't necessarily sell a single phone at the same rate as Apple does. So I don't know if that, it plays into it, but I just don't understand how these manufacturers can't strong arm the carriers and get them to just,
the only one that has the closest thing to do that, the only one that has a chance of doing that is Samsung, because even though they're not making as much money before, I still believe they're one of the very few Android manufacturers making profit on their phones and then still selling large volumes of phones to make it to be. Yeah.
Well, they just had a really, really good quarter. Their last quarter was on a huge upswing. So they're back into the making that money, which is good for them, because it was really hard to look at the Android landscape and go, okay, well, who's making nobody's making money, so who's selling phones? But then we forget here in the States that we're so used to seeing basically just Samsung and Apple. They're the only two companies. But you go elsewhere, and like Huawei just overtook Xiaomi or whatever that company is the number one manufacturer in China. And they sell a ton of phones. They're a huge manufacturer there. So it's Android is making money for lots of people. It's just not necessarily here.
And maybe Samsung's doing better because they're probably treating the U.S. department with a little bit more respect, unlike what happened last year. So hopefully that's the case. That's why Samsung's doing a little bit better marketing. I know there's a better marketing push now going on for the Samsung Galaxy S6 series versus the S5 previously. So
yeah, well, I mean, the S5 is a piece of shit.
Well, nah, I mean,
no, it was a piece of shit. I had one. It was a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit. This is Samsung's. This is how they do. They release a Galaxy S phone, and then it's always a piece of shit, and then they figure it out by the time they get to the Note. Then they release the Note, and they fix everything that everyone bitched about, except the Note was always bigger and more expensive. So, and they'd already blown their load by selling the S phone. So all these people flocked to the S phone, and few people picked up the Note, and then slowly but surely more and more people started buying the Note because we wanted bigger screens or whatever, better camera, this or that. And now it's come to where the Note line I think is the main seller for Samsung at this point. I think when they release a Note phone, there's more excitement behind that than there is for the standard S series.
Really? I don't know. I still think it's the other way around, man. Because I remember the Note, what is it, 5 recently that came out?
Yeah, that's the newest one. That's the one I have.
And it's beautiful. It didn't seem like as much clamor as the X6 series has received. I think it was actually more marketing for the freaking Edge 6, the 6S Edge.
Yeah.
Whoever the one they released with the Note than it actually was for the Note.
Well, because they got it backwards again. So this is what's so funny about Samsung. So they released the S6 and the Edge, right? And they had a huge supply chain problem with the Edge because they didn't think it was going to sell as well as the regular S6. But it turns out that the Edge has actually sold better than the regular S6. So they did the same thing with the Note. They were like, well, let's do an Edge Plus, and then we'll do a Note. And I guess we'll see what happens. They just did it in fewer SKUs. If you notice, they're really selective as to which countries got which colors. So that way they don't have to manufacture a whole fuck ton for everyone. Instead, like the S6 and the Edge, there's 3 different colors on every single carrier and every country in the world. You know what I mean? That's a lot of manufacturing to do. Whereas with the Edge Plus and the Note, they only have to worry about 2 SKUs per phone. They limited the size to only 32 and 64. There's no 128 like they did with the Edge and the S6. So they kind of learned their lesson. And then the Note 5, from everything that I've seen, is actually outselling the Edge Plus. So it's like on the bigger side of phones, people don't really want that crazy edged screen. But on the smaller side of things, people do. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's one of those things that they
just want the stylus. Maybe that's what it is. Like, hey, I'm paying the same price, I might as well just get the stylus.
Yeah, I don't know. I think. I just think when I look at them, I just like the look of the traditional screen on the Note 5. I mean, the Edge Plus definitely has like the screen itself. Like it is very eye catching. Like when you just see it sitting there, it is a really really just unique and cool looking thing. But I think just in day to day use, the flat screen, just a normal screen, is easier to manage.
Yeah, for me, I look at them side by side. I'd say the 6S Plus is Edge Plus is sexier, but
right.
Sexier. So.
Yeah, and the software, and they've pared down the software quite a bit. I think that's another thing that Samsung's done recently that's really really smart. Is they introduced a theme store, thank God. So you can go in there, like with my Note, I've got a material theme, and it looks just like a Nexus. You know, the dark, nice blues and everything. Obviously, I have a launcher and icons, but I mean, if I didn't have a launcher and icons, it would still have the themed stock icons. So I think that was something that they did that was really smart. My only complaint is with their stupid theme store, there's no search. It's like... Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. There's no search function at all. It's like you can sort it by like top paid or top free or, newest release or most popular or that sort of thing, but you can't if like you're on XDA or whatever, and someone's like, check out my new theme, it's blah blah blah. You can't just go in there and search for it. It's kind of
their ugly ass email apps, calendar apps, and there's piss poor web browser.
I've never used any manufacturer's browser. I've always used Chrome. It's still in there, but I never use it. Their email app is actually not bad. It's not. I mean, it's definitely no Gmail or Inbox or even Outlook. But I'll tell you, I have a little Outlook rant I want to go on in a sec. But like the text messaging app looks good. I mean, all the apps look significantly better. All the cartoony stuff is gone. So I mean, it's all very material-ish. There's definitely
the last Samsung I had was S4, and God, they're
no. Like the Samsung that generation of Samsung was like the fucking typification of everything wrong with Samsung. Like even now, I'll go and browse around the Android Central forums or the XDA forums for the Note, and people are like, "Where is this feature? Where is that feature?" And they're like, "It's gone, motherfucker!" Like they just took that out. Like it's so stripped down that like all of the stuff all the gimmicky shit that they used to have is just gone, which is good because. The battery life's better. Software performance is amazing. The Note 5, it doesn't stutter. It doesn't slow down. It's fast. There's no. But anyway, Outlook. I guess I never noticed this because I use Outlook full time on my iPhone, and I never noticed this, but it doesn't integrate. It's just like a separate container. It doesn't integrate with the phone's contacts at all.
Yeah, on the people, you're right.
So, like the other day, I got an email from my buddy, and well, whatever. His name's Davion, and he sends me an email, and it's from an email address that I guess I did not have saved in the phone, and it wasn't showing the contact photo. And if you know anything about me, like I hate lists of text messages or emails where I don't have contact photos.
I will Facebook creep. Meetup.com creep. I would creep through all this stuff to find pictures.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I'm that weird guy that's like, oh, I'm putting my phone. Okay, let me get a picture. It bothers me not. It just looks so much better than having like some stupid blank space. Yeah. So I'm like, why the fuck is his contact photo not showing up? And when you click on the contact in Outlook, it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't open the contact app within Android or even like give you the option to like merge it. Which is weird because you sign into your Gmail account and it pulls all my contacts from Gmail and brings them into Outlook, but it doesn't like talk back to the phone in any way. So like I added the email address to my phone, but the contact didn't. I don't know. It was weird. It was just frustrating. And then I started clicking through all the contacts. I was like, oh, none of these are linked to my phone at all. I didn't even realize it. So that's my rant. It's just
if you're saving to your Gmail, then theoretically it should get updated to your Outlook app, right?
Eventually, I guess, but it doesn't. It didn't happen on the fly. Like I added it, and then hours later, maybe if he sent me another email, it would show up, but it didn't show up. So.
Okay, no, you're probably right. It probably takes a bit of time, for the sync and then push and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I was traveling too at the time, so it was, I don't know if some of that, but yeah, that's one thing I didn't like about because I'm still trying to figure out on Android the perfect email because I have an Exchange account, and then I have my personal Gmail, and then I have the Gadget Guru's Gmail, which basically is just an inbox for a bunch of PR requests at this point. So I don't even really care about. I check it every once in a while, but that's about it. So I'm still trying to find like the kind of the perfect mix of do I find one app that works? Obviously Gmail or Inbox works the best for Gmail, and with Android you can do Exchange within Gmail now, but on the Note you have to sideload the Exchange APK for whatever reason because Samsung wants you to use their stupid ass app.
Yeah.
And the app's not bad. I actually did use it for a while, and it integrates. Obviously with the calendar and all the other stuff, and it does a pretty good job, and it looks good. It's not a bad-looking app by any means. It's orange, which bothers me. I hate orange, but it doesn't look bad. But at the same time, I didn't want to bounce between that and Gmail, so I was like, well, let me do Outlook, and so I installed the Exchange services. So right now, I'm just using Gmail for both, and that's doing the trick. That's doing the trick. So another reason why I'm kind of looking forward to checking out this Priv and seeing what that universal inbox is going to look like. So you just have one box for everything.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be. Well, now I really want to check out that priv. Son of a B.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know how it is because I'm sure
Get it?
I'm sure I'll get it. Yeah, that's just how I am.
Yes.
What else you got, man? What else happened recently that we should talk about?
Well, I know can't really talk about it much, but tomorrow Halo 5 comes out. It's gonna be some good shit. Good shit.
Yeah, I'm excited. I just played through. I realized that when I bought Halo 4, I never played any of the campaign.
Oh really?
I didn't. Jumped right into multiplayer. Never touched the campaign. I played like 10 minutes at max or something like that because I got the Master Chief Edition, and I was like, well, let me replay 4 because I don't necessarily remember all the story bits about it. So and I was reading the Halo books, and I really like the backstory and everything of Halo. So I was like, well, let me refresh the story in my mind. I start playing, and I'm like, I don't think I ever beat this. I just never played, but I didn't even get past the first mission. Like 10 minutes into the first mission, I just stopped playing and only played multiplayer. And I played a lot of Halo 4. It wasn't like I didn't play Halo 4. It was just I played basically just multiplayer 99.9% of the time. So I went back through and beat that, so it's all fresh in my mind, and I'm really looking forward to Halo 5. Did you check out any of the Hunt the Truth audio podcast stuff?
No. I actually think I had that in my podcast list, but
it's cool, man. They did a really good job. They're really interesting, and they tell you a little bit of the backstory of Master Chief and some of the like shadiness that the government was doing and all the stuff. And obviously, if you've read the books, you kind of already know. Like the Fall of Reach is just an amazing book. In fact, they're doing the animated movie that's going to release with the game if you buy one of the premium versions of the game. I don't know if they're going to release it as I'm sure they will just release it as a separate purchase that you can make, but it comes bundled in if you buy like the deluxe or the whatever the crazy one that's $100. Yeah, legendary with the busts and all that stuff.
Yeah, screw that crap. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm just going to do the digital deluxe version because I really want to watch that movie.
How much is actually the deluxe version?
I think it's like $80 or something like that.
Oh man, I don't know, man. $20 for the movie. How long is the movie?
Well, it's not just the movie. You get a bunch of other stuff, but I think it's like I think it's an hour and 15 minutes or something like that.
On that then. Let me see. Let me take a look at Best Buy Halo 5. And there's a ability to still pre-order the. Oh my god, it's $100, dude.
No. I'm talking about the digital one.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think the digital one is cheaper.
Okay, well I can't get the digital one.
Why?
$80 for the digital one?
I think so. Was it 80 or 89?
Man, it comes out to the same price if I get the freaking limited edition or the digital one. That sucks. That's some bullshit, man. I tell you that much.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm a big fan of the digital stuff, like digital downloads now. I mean, it kind of sucks because you can't like trade in your old games. But so what I've started to do is I only buy the digital versions of the games that I know that I'm not going to trade in, or that by the time I do want to trade it in, it's only worth like $5.
Okay. Okay. Limited edition includes Halo: The Fall of Reach. Oh, that's supposed to be the movie you're talking about, what? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, animated series. Yep. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Well,
yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Xbox Live and a digital content provided single card inside package. Provided on single card inside package. I don't know. Oh, Warzone Rec Bundle includes 14 premium requisition packs.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, the
Halo Guard. Okay, Xbox Live. Oh, well. Okay. So, man, it seems like I'm only paying for this. I'm paying freaking $40 more, $30 more for just the movie, dude, and some requisition packs. And what the fuck are the requisition packs even for? The rec packs.
Okay, this is for anybody that knows what Halo 5 is and how to play it, and this is going to sound completely stupid because I really don't know, but I started trying to read it and figure out what it was. But basically, it's like Warzone's their new game type where it's like 12 on 12, or I think it's 12 on 12, but it's like a giant, huge open world map, and it's not just you versus another human team. There's like other things that you can do to get points, and whoever has 1,000 points by the end of it wins. And it's like for killing a random NPC, it's like 25 points. For killing like super bosses, it's like 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
For taking over the enemy's base, it's so many points. And the requisitions basically let you use those items in Warzone. So it's like you go up to like
Titanfall's loadouts?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a loadout. Yeah, you basically go into your base and you like put in the card or whatever, select your requisition, and it drops it. So like, say you and I are playing and I have a tank I can use. Well, I can go in there and drop the tank, but then say it gets blowed up and then all of a sudden the other team has a tank. We're screwed. I've already used my rec for that particular match. But I believe once you have a requisition, then you can use it, over and over, just not within that same game.
Okay.
I think that's how it works, and I'm sure it's going to be like different armors or that sort of thing. So.
Oh, yeah, I see here too, Mike. It also comes with a freaking Guardian model. Get in there included with that. Okay. Maybe that's for the extra $20 on top of those.
That's the physical copy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Best Buy has that 20% gamers discount, so that's why I want to go through them. And
oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Oh well, whatever.
Yeah, well, I got some games I want to trade in, so I might end up going and getting the physical copy. Just get a few bucks off.
You see that limited edition Xbox? That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it does. The controller looks really cool too.
Yeah. Damn, man. Remember back in the day, dude? Back in the day when we had those Best Buy warranties.
Yep.
Oh, man, you just go in there with
swap it out.
Swap it out.
Hey, I got a red ring. Give me a new one. Okay.
It was too, man. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it was so crazy back then, man. And they caught on. I'm like, yeah, this probably really isn't a good idea.
Yeah, they had fucking 14 stacks of Xbox 360s that work perfectly fine.
The new Elite came out for the same price. Let me go swap that out.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So what else you got, man? What else you want to talk about before we wrap this bad boy up?
Man, what else is there? So we talked about the A9. It's been a good phone. We talked about the BlackBerry. We talked about little S-Box. Anything going on in comics you talk about?
Did you see the new trailer for Jessica Jones?
Oh, hell no, man. I forgot. I've been meaning to check that out, man. Damn.
Yeah, it looks dark is one word I would use to describe it. It definitely looks like they're taking a page from the Daredevil style, except maybe even darker. Because if you know anything about Jessica Jones and like her backstory and
how she became the hero in the hero training after the whole Purple Man incident.
Yeah, well, not just that. There's a lot of like. Just like she's a very vulgar character, well, her and Luke Cage, really. There's a lot of non Marvel-y stuff in her particular different comics.
Too, dude. If you were like working with the Avengers and one day the Purple Man kidnaps you and turns you into like his sex slave and you disappear and you're like going for months and nobody gives a fuck about you.
Right,
a little vulgar and became back.
Yeah, I guess the word I was looking for is damaged. She's very damaged. You know what I mean? So like the series is gonna, I think at least from the trailer, it looks like it's gonna reflect a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, man,
because it looks like it takes place after the Purple Man has had her.
Yeah,
she's just back as being like a normal person. I don't know. I mean, they could do it within flashbacks. Probably they'll probably like.
It's kind of weird. Like you have Daredevil, you have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you have the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe happening, and there's been no mention of really any heroes outside of the ones we already knew about or the ones that were kind of introduced. And this would imply that she's been superheroing for a while.
I think what it's going to be is that maybe he knew about her powers and she wasn't a superhero. I don't think it's going to be, her flying around and like the Avengers probably didn't know about her, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. probably didn't know about her, and she was just kind of like a low-key person with powers, and the Purple Man, finds out about it and then, uses her for, various different things. And then she somehow gets free, and now she's back to doing PI work or whatever. So I don't think her backstory is going to be as grandiose as working with the Avengers and getting beat up by them and then being convinced by.
I think it has to be retconned somehow. I'm just hoping they don't say like she was a superhero flying around saving the day and all of a sudden this happened, because that would just be unbelievable.
Right. I think it's going to be more of like she was she was a happy-go-lucky PI investigator with powers, and reluctantly used her powers here and there, and then she got kidnapped, and that sort of thing.
Or Purple Man could have been part of like Hydra, and you remember how in Captain America: Civil War they knew about these individuals who were key individuals. Well, he could have used that information to go after her.
Maybe, yeah, definitely,
definitely. All right. Well, I gotta check out this trailer. I'm definitely excited about this one. And Luke Cage, gonna see how he comes out. Freaking Daredevil season 2 is gonna be awesome with Punisher coming.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Punisher.
Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be sick, dude.
Yeah.
Do you get tickets for Star Wars?
No, not yet.
Really? You of all people?
Yeah, they're not gonna be sold out. They're gonna be my theater's good.
Okay. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Want to see it in IMAX?
Yeah, I'll probably see it in IMAX, but not 3D.
You have the option at your theater?
Yeah, they have an IMAX, but no 3D.
Oh, okay. Oh, so they never have 3D, just standard IMAX then?
No. They do have 3D, but they also do the standard IMAX. Not all movies, but some of them, like the big. Excuse me, like Star Wars will be, I'm sure, IMAX, but not 3D.
Oh yeah, I have a couple of IMAX theaters around here, but they always, if it's in 3D, they always do 3D. They never have an option of a non-3D showing of a 3D enabled IMAX movie. So I was just confused on that. But all right.
Now IMAX is just a big ass fucking screen.
Oh, I know that. It's just like they just never show a non-3D version in that IMAX.
Oh, I gotcha. They only get it, and that might just be the right, like not the rights, but the distribution. They might only do here's the regular, or here's IMAX 3D. I know some theaters do. Or some movies get, standard IMAX and then IMAX 3D.
IMAX was standard only. There was no 3D version for that because I don't think that movie was recorded in 3D.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 3D. Ugh, no, I've never walked out of a 3D movie and been like, that was better because of 3D. I've always been like, that was not as good because of 3D, because the 3D scenes are like cool for the 5 seconds that you're seeing them, but then the rest of the time, everything looks dim, and you're wearing these stupid glasses that take away from the rest of the movie.
Yeah, well, I usually forget the glasses on after the first few minutes, so for me, I can get around it. But no, I know some people don't like 3D. I mean, I respect that shit. You gotta respect that shit.
Yeah, and unless it's like an animated movie or something that's obviously the whole thing is 3D, then I'm out.
Well, you've been watching the latest TV shows, man? Flash, Arrow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Supergirl's supposed to be having next week, I guess, No,
Supergirl's tonight. Oh,
you're right. Supergirl is tonight, man.
Yeah, Supergirl's tonight. It's on fucking CBS too. I don't have cable anymore, but and I just remember that CBS is like the anti-Hulu. So they will do the show on the CBS app that you can watch and stream it, Chromecast it or Apple, AirPlay it. But it's 8 days behind from when they release it on TV. So I will watch Supergirl, but I'm watching it on a crazy delay. I'm caught up to everything else except the last Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've only seen like half of the latest episode. I didn't get to finish it.
Arrow, but I was past. Those 2 days, I was 2 weeks behind on Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., man. I didn't watch those episodes last night. Oh my god, that show. So fucking good, man. Oh,
yeah, man, it's good. It's really good. I'm really glad to see them. I'm really glad to see it doing well, and I'm enjoying every episode.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Next week's gonna be freaking awesome, dude. So you got to get caught up because they're gonna have they're gonna release some interesting information, man.
Yeah, I'll probably watch the rest of it tonight, actually.
Yeah, nice.
But Arrow and Flash are good. I really like what's going on.
It's been kind of weak this season, it seems like.
I think they're off to it's a slower start, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not disappointed with it. I'm still liking it. I'm still entertained by it. Yeah. Arrow, I really like Damien Dark. He's like, I like the guy that they picked to play him, and he's like evil genius with powers, like mystical powers. Like he's not a meta. He's like just really cool stuff, and it's all like secretive, and we don't know anything yet. And so of course there's obviously some like on the nose lame shit that you're like, okay, like seeing all the hooded people with bow and arrows riding motorcycles all at one time. You're like, eh. Like I miss when it was just Arrow putting fucking arrows through people. But
I'm happy they're at least trying to make Oliver a little bit more Oliver Queenish from the comic books, so the brooding Batman wannabe. We actually starting to be a little lighthearted, crack some jokes. That's the Oliver Queen we need.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the show has been pretty heavy. I mean, everybody's dying around him. Like, I mean, his mom died, his sister died, and it got brought back to life, and I mean, there's pretty heavy stuff.
But still, man, you gotta get through that shit, and
you gotta man up. Quit being a pussy.
Otherwise, you turn into a psychotic killer. And, it's a thin line, man, between good and evil. Batman knows it. Oliver Queen, he knows it now, and he's starting to live with it and become a better guy for it. And then I'm happy. I mean, you can't screw up Arrow as much as you did season 3, right? It can only go up from there.
Yeah, season 3 was just like it started. It started off terrible, and then it got better as it went on. And the last half I felt was pretty good, but the first half was just like, why the fuck am I watching this?
The whole pretty much the whole Oliver and Felicity bullshit that was going on between us just felt so forced. I'm like, oh man, come on now. But this is a CW, so fuck.
Yeah, well, that and like the fans are like clamoring over that shit. They love that shit.
I know, man. That's it. It's all fan.
Like,
they have no chemistry, dude. They really
have no, none at all. It's such a weird pairing, but whatever.
But I guess out of who else there,
right?
Everybody fucking hates and.
Yeah,
Sarah, who everybody who's dead, I guess they have to have that for their target audience. Kind of like with Arrow and the whole Iris bullshit, or not Arrow, excuse me, Flash and the whole Iris bullshit.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. What you got to have it for this month?
Yeah, man, for the month, huh? Let's see here. Guru gotta have it would be. Shit, man, fuck. Man, fuck.
All right, I'll go while you think. Well, it's going to be quick, but I mentioned it already. But the Hunted Truth audio series, if you're a fan of Halo, then you got to check it out. They're like 15-minute episodes. Season 1 basically follows a reporter that is hired by the government to do an expose on Master Chief, and it ends up turning into him finding all these secrets and digging deeper into the atrocities of ONI, which is the Office of Naval Intelligence. That's what it stands for. And they're the people that basically created the Spartan program and Master Chief and his crew, and you find out a lot. If you haven't read any of the backstory stuff, you start to find out all the dirty details of that program. And then season 2 picks up after that, which I won't talk about because it's still going on. I think the last episode actually might have been today because it was supposed to lead up to the release of Halo 5. So if you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. They're very, very quick, and you can download them and watch them or listen to them. They're just audio, and they're on any podcast player. Just search for Hunt the Truth. Yeah, the last episode for Hunt the Truth was today, or the 26th. So yeah, today. So check that out.
Nice. I guess the only thing I can probably recommend is freaking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 3 right now. It's the only thing on top of my head, man. It's fucking awesome. If you guys are one of those haters who say, "Oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. suck," you're probably one of those douchebags who watched the first half of the first season and just gave up. Get your ass together and go watch the rest of that first season, and then you'll see what the show's about. And then second season's fucking awesome. Third season's fucking awesome. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., man. You guys get out there, watch that show, give it a chance. If that first season didn't kick it off for you properly, just go back and if you're brand new, just like, I don't know, really, you can probably just skip like the first 10 episodes.
Yeah, wherever the mid-season break was in the first season, like you can start from when they came back from break.
Oh yeah, and it's fucking good. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., watch it, enjoy it, orgasm over it.
All right, well, where can everybody get a hold of you, Vic?
Get a hold of me at vic@thegadgetgurus.net. You can also hit me up at twitter.com/VW. Or no, excuse me, VW. So.
I was like, wait, you change your shit?
I wish I did. But yeah, and then other than that, you can find us on facebook.com/thegadgetgurus.
All right, and you can send us an email, podcast at thegadgetgears.net. You can find me on MobileMike01 on Twitter. This is the Gadget Gears podcast, episode number 253, and we are out.
Laters.